In this video, we will examine 6 biggest stereotypes about INTJ personality types and determine whether they are true or false. Number 1. INTJs are cold and aloof. The stereotype of INTJs being cold and aloof often stems from their tendency to prioritize logic and rationality over emotional expression. In social interactions, they may appear reserved or distant, preferring to engage in discussions that are intellectual rather than emotionally charged. But this preference for analytical thinking can sometimes give off an air of detachment, as INTJs may focus more on facts and ideas rather than personal sentiments. However, beneath this exterior of reserve lies a depth of thought and emotion that may not always be immediately apparent. While INTJs may not readily express their feelings, they are capable of forming deep emotional connections with those they trust. They may simply prefer to reserve their emotional energy for those relationships that they deem meaningful and authentic. So in conclusion, while there is some truth to the stereotype of INTJs being cold and aloof, it's not entirely accurate. While they may appear reserved in social situations and prioritize logic over emotion, this does not mean they lack warmth or empathy. INTJs are capable of forming deep emotional connections and can be highly loyal and supportive friends and partners. Therefore, while the stereotype may have some basis in reality, it does not fully capture the complexity and depth of their INTJ personality. If you are willing to delve even deeper into your personality type, we are excited to announce the release of our insightful ebooks. In the first one, you can explore the nuanced dynamics of INTJ relationships and uncover strategies to foster deeper connections based on understanding and compatibility. In the second one, you can gain clarity on navigating the intricate terrain of career choices with a guide tailored specifically for INTJs, offering actionable advice to leverage their unique strengths effectively and finally choose a career path in the best way possible. As a special offer for our subscribers, we have a promo code available for your purchase. Link is in the description. Number 2. INTJs are arrogant know-it-alls. The stereotype of INTJs being arrogant know-it-alls often arises from their confidence in their intellectual abilities and their tendency to express opinions with conviction. This confidence can sometimes be misinterpreted as arrogance, especially in situations where INTJs assert themselves strongly or challenge others' ideas. However, it's essential to recognize that this confidence and assertiveness stem from a genuine belief in their own capabilities rather than a desire to belittle others. INTJs value competence and intellectual rigor, and they may become frustrated when they perceive others as lacking in these qualities. Moreover, beneath the facade of self-assurance often lies a deep-seated insecurity and a fear of failure. INTJs may strive for perfection in their pursuits and may be harsher critics of themselves than they are of others. This internal pressure to excel can sometimes manifest as outward confidence, leading others to perceive them as arrogant. So in conclusion, while there may be instances where INTJs come across as arrogant know-it-alls, this stereotype does not fully capture the complexity of their personality. While they may exude confidence in their abilities and may be direct in their communication, this is often driven by a sincere commitment to excellence rather than a desire to assert dominance. Therefore, while there may be elements of truth to this stereotype, it is not entirely accurate. Number 3. INTJs prefer solitude. INTJs are often depicted as individuals who prefer solitude, and there is truth to this stereotype. INTJs are introverted by nature, which means they tend to recharge and reflect best in quiet, solitary environments. Unlike extroverts who thrive on social interactions, INTJs find their energy depleted by too much social stimulation and often require time alone to replenish their mental reserves. In solitude, INTJs have the space and freedom to delve deep into their thoughts and ideas without external distractions. They relish the opportunity to engage in introspection, analyze complex problems, and formulate innovative solutions. Solitude provides them with the necessary mental clarity to explore their interests, pursue their passions, and work towards their goals without interruption. While INTJs value their time alone, it's essential to note that this preference for solitude does not imply a disdain for social interaction or a lack of interpersonal skills. INTJs are fully capable of engaging in meaningful relationships and socializing when necessary. However, they tend to be selective about the company they keep and may prioritize quality over quantity in their social connections. So in conclusion, the stereotype that INTJs prefer solitude is generally true. Solitude is a fundamental aspect of the INTJ's personality, providing them with the space and freedom to recharge, reflect, and pursue their intellectual interests. However, it is important to recognize that this preference for solitude does not preclude them from engaging in social interactions or forming meaningful relationships when the opportunity arises. Number 4. INTJs are socially awkward. The stereotype of INTJs being socially awkward suggests that they struggle in social situations and may exhibit behaviors that are perceived as awkward or uncomfortable by others. While there is some truth to this stereotype, it is essential to understand the nuances involved. You see, INTJs are introverted individuals who tend to prefer depth over breadth in their social interactions. They may find small talk and superficial conversation tedious or unfulfilling, leading to a perceived discomfort in social settings where such interactions are prevalent. Additionally, their preference for solitude and introspection means that they may not have much practice navigating social dynamics as more extroverted individuals would. However, it's important to note that not all INTJs are socially awkward and may develop social skills over time through observation, practice, and self-awareness. While they may not always conform to traditional social norms, they are capable of forming meaningful connections and engaging in fulfilling relationships with others who appreciate their unique perspectives. In conclusion, while the stereotype of INTJs being socially awkward may have some basis in reality, it is not universally true. INTJs may indeed face challenges in social situations, particularly when it comes to small talk and navigating social cues. However, with self-awareness and practice, many INTJs are capable of developing social skills and forming authentic connections with others. Therefore, while some INTJs may exhibit socially awkward tendencies, it is not an inherent trait of the personality type as a whole. Number 5. INTJs are strategic thinkers. INTJs are often characterized as strategic thinkers, and this stereotype holds true to a significant extent. These individuals possess a natural inclination towards strategic planning, problem-solving, and long-term visioning. They approach tasks and challenges with a methodical and analytical mindset, seeking efficient and effective solutions. One of the key strengths of INTJs lies in their ability to analyze complex problems, break them down into manageable components, and devise comprehensive strategies to address them. They excel in seeing the big picture while also paying attention to the smallest details, allowing them to anticipate potential obstacles and plan accordingly. INTJs are known for their strategic foresight, often thinking several steps ahead and considering the long-term implications of their decisions. They are adept at setting goals and developing concrete plans to achieve them, leveraging their analytical skills to identify the most optimal path forward. Moreover, INTJs are not just adept at strategic thinking in the professional realm, but also apply it to various aspects of their lives. Whether it's planning their career trajectory, managing personal finances, or navigating interpersonal relationships, they approach each situation with a strategic mindset, aiming to maximize efficiency and achieve their desired outcomes. So in conclusion, the stereotype of INTJs being strategic thinkers is undeniably true. Number 6. INTJs are control freaks. The stereotype of INTJs being control freaks suggests that they have a strong desire to maintain control over their environment, situations, and even the people around them. While there is some truth to this stereotype, it's essential to understand the underlying motivations and nuances involved. You see, INTJs often have a clear vision of how they want things to unfold and may become frustrated when circumstances deviate from their expectations. They value efficiency and effectiveness and may prefer to take charge of situations to ensure that things are done correctly and according to their standards. However, it's important to recognize that this desire for control stems from a genuine desire for order and effectiveness rather than a need for dominance or power. INTJs are typically driven by a desire to achieve their goals and fulfill their vision, and they may see taking control as a means to that. Moreover, not all INTJs exhibit controlling behavior to the same degree, and many are capable of recognizing when it's appropriate to delegate tasks or relinquish control in certain situations. They understand the importance of collaboration and may be willing to work with others towards common goals rather than insisting on having things done their way. So in conclusion, while there may be instances where INTJs exhibit controlling behavior, the stereotype of them being control freaks is not entirely accurate. While they may have a strong desire for control in certain situations, it's usually motivated by a genuine desire for efficiency and effectiveness rather than a need for dominance. Additionally, many INTJs are capable of recognizing the importance of collaboration and may be willing to relinquish control when necessary. Therefore, while there may be elements of truth to this stereotype, it does not fully capture the complexity of the INTJ personality. These videos will be really helpful for you.